What's up, everybody? Shawn of the Shred, and I am working on one of my Rustler bodies right now. I went ahead and picked up this Rustler 4x4 VXL not too long ago, just for some fun, and went ahead and picked up a couple of bodies while I was at it. And this one I've got some outlines done on here of basically how I'm going to go ahead and do the template or the paint job. Basics, like I said, just drawn on the outside, and then that way it's on that clear plastic protective film that you peel off. I've left that on there. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and use this liquid mask and basically coat the inside with like 4 to 5 coats, and then that way I can build up a nice layer in there. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the window masks and everything using, liquid mask, mask off the windows and cut everything around it, really. And go ahead and do it that way. Obviously, with the way that I've got the lines segmented in there, that's going to be some different steps of the paint job. Not super fancy on this one. This one's going to be kind of a basic paint job. Really, I'm going to test out some stuff. I've got something special I'm going to test. I'm going to see how well that works, and if it does, then I might use it on some other bodies. But this is the first of 2 of these Rustler bodies that I'm going to paint. This one, like I said, and then I've got another one which is going to have a little bit more of a wild design on it and is actually a tribute. So stay tuned for that, and I'm going to go ahead and start laying down some liquid mask on here. That way I can go ahead and get the process started. Alright, so I have got 3 layers laid down on these bodies now of the liquid mask, and it is working out really well. I went ahead and did some labeling on the outside of some sections and colors and whatnot that I'm going to do there. And now I'm getting ready to go ahead and lay down layer number 4. And then that way, hopefully, when I get back from lunch, I can go ahead and lay down layer number 5 and then start the paint process. Alright, so I'm giving a peel on this and experiencing the beauty of this liquid mask for the first time. And I gotta say that I am pretty excited here with how it's leaving this sharp line from my cut, and I hope that it looks real good whenever I get it all cleaned off, because yeah, that's pretty crisp and clean. I'm hoping better than I would have ever done masking with tape, so yeah. Alright, so I gotta say, so far I am really impressed with the liquid mask and the clean lines that it leaves whenever I'm cutting that off there, and it's actually pretty easy to work with. I'm about to lay down a layer of some pearl clear, and then I'm going to go ahead and see if I can use that as my adhesive layer for my gold leaf and my rose gold leaf to go into these spots. I've never worked with gold leaf before on an RC body or at all, really. So I'm going to try this. I don't know how it's going to turn out. So this is totally just in theory, and in theory it sounds good. So let's test it and see if it actually works. Okay, so I had the intention to go ahead and throw my gold leaf into this bag and basically shred it, but I realized that in doing so, it would create static inside the bag, which would then make it probably stick to the bag quite a bit. So I found if I put it in the bag in a whole piece and then lightly scrunched it together, I could kind of create this effect with it to varying different degrees. Here's one that's a little bit less but still has the crumpled effect. But in doing so and layering those together, I don't believe that you'll be able to see a seam. So I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. I think it'll be easier, and I've got some already split into the thin strips, so that way I can do it down the side right there in two pieces. But again, I'm going to overlap them, and yeah, but looking pretty cool. I really like the way that that looks. So that's going to be pretty dope. I'm seeing some good results where I'm getting it to stick down, but there are some spots where, you know, whenever I lay it down, I need to kind of push it down, and then it'll, like, the leaf will crack or whatever. So I'm thinking maybe sprinkling it on there in flakes is better, or will work better, because then you can kind of maybe get it more in the cracks. This is actually the worst of the sides. This side did not come out bad at all. It's actually got a pretty solid strip down it, and that gold leaf looks absolutely just dope. I'm gonna continue working on this and get into second layer of the coverage on there, so that way I can get all the gaps filled in, and then I should be able to move on to the next thing. So I definitely like the way that looks, and the way the light hits it. I mean, this is gonna look super dope out in the sun. Especially once I get all the other colors and whatnot on there. So pretty stoked about that. It's definitely going to have some blinding qualities as it flies by at, you know, speed. So should look pretty cool. About to redo the front sections up here, the top, and then the gold up front right here. I went ahead and redid the rose gold, which also turned out really cool. Gold on the back, it's nice and solid. Got this other stripe over here on lock. Straight, solid, pretty. The top part right there, got some gold there, and then also some gold right up front right there. So I think that's going to look pretty cool. And now I'm just waiting for the clear coat that I used as adhesive to dry, which I used the Tamiya. It's actually the pearl clear. I probably could have just used the regular clear, but this was all I had on hand was the pearl. I don't know that you're actually going to be able to see the pearl have an effect, but I could be totally wrong. Maybe whenever, you know, it gets out in the light, I can see it a little bit better. But right now with the plastic on there, I can't really tell. So who knows? But we'll see. Looking pretty cool so far, though. So I'm going to let that dry and stop disturbing it. And yeah, I don't know if I just didn't paint the liquid mask on thick enough, but since I haven't cut into the Mustang body yet that I'm going to do alternately, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more layers of liquid mask on that one. But I'm going to keep going, see what I can get done with this one. So I've been peeling away at this liquid mask for hours now. Wherever I sprayed the clear, so that way I could stick down the gold leaf and the rose gold leaf, it actually caused the liquid mask to not be so peelable. Like where you can see that it's kind of got that silvery sparkle to it right there, that whole area is going to be a real bitch to peel. So is this bottom part down here. I've been peeling on this hood area right here, and this area right here around the rear for about the last 6 to 8 hours off and on. And it's just peeling off in these tiny itty bitty little bits. So unfortunately I'm not able to get it to actually come up in a whole piece because again, this is one of the areas where I sprayed the clear to try and get the gold leaf to stick and use the clear as the adhesive. So I'm sitting here having to do it this way, and it peels off like a tiny little bit like that, which is ridiculous. And in some cases when I scrape it off, it leaves behind all this sticky residue. So I'm hoping I can clean all that off with an alcohol swab without affecting the gold leaf that's around it too much. But there's got to be a better way to get this stuff to come off, like after you've painted over it a little bit. If you have any tips or tricks for that, please leave them in the comments. This is the first time I've ever used liquid mask, so I am learning, but you know, you don't know what you don't know. So yeah, finally got to the point to where I was able to peel off one of the inside layers and do some of the paint drip drops on the roof. And went ahead and did those, letting this sit and dry now, and now I'm about to hit it on the inside with a transparent purple to do the top layer, and then once I'm done with that, I'll peel off the rest of the mask and finish off the splatter paint job on the lower half. Okay, so I have gone ahead and hit the inside with a combination of both transparent and metallic purple. Alright, so I just finished peeling the paper off, and I just need to peel the tape off, but the tape is sticking fairly well to the liquid mask, so I'm gonna just peel that off once I get it in there. But wanted to be able to go ahead and take some of that tape off so it can have a little bit more breathability on it, and flip it over to see. Oh, nice. Alright, so that came out pretty cool. So that purple is super deep but also candy, and that's because I used two different purples on it. It was basically candy more up here and then purple flake back here, so that way the front should really kind of light up, but then I did purple flake underneath the candy as well, so it should have some depth to it once you really get to see it in the light. But it did come out to be a pretty nice looking purple, so pretty pleased with that. With the white under it, should be even brighter in the sun, and then the splatters came out pretty bright and vivid too. So the next layer is going to be where all this liquid mask is. I need to peel all that off, because that whole entire section right there is basically going to get splatter paint on it, and then backed with white, so it'll be purple on top, white on bottom with splatters. What's up, fellow enthusiasts? So I unfortunately am not having great luck with my second layer of peeling. I've got the purple layer on there. It looks dope as fuck, but I cannot get this second blue layer to peel off. You can tell that it had the clear coat on it as well. It's got some sparkle to it. So unfortunately, it is doing the same thing and peeling off in just little bits. So I have learned my lesson the hard way with this first round, that I did not put that stuff on thick enough, and I thought I did, but I did not. So this is going to be a beatdown. To get it all off, I had to use one of these basically rubber cement erasers, and it's specifically for like peeling up mask and glue and latex and stuff like that. So I was really just dragging that across it like that, you know, ripping it up from the edges and corners. Alright, so I have successfully got the majority, I believe, of all of the liquid mask off. Unfortunately, as you can see here in getting it off, I also did take off some of the gold leaf and the rose gold, so now I have to fix that again, and that is adding to my displeasure with working with gold leaf and whatnot in the order that I did. Like I said, it looks badass on there. It, you know, has a reflective and texture that is pretty awesome. It's hard to beat. Looks even better, of course, from the other side. But the order in which I did it, I would definitely do different. I would have done this portion last had I known how it was going to work out. So anyway, fixing all this. Gonna fix the gold leaf and the rose gold right now, so that way tomorrow I can finally lay down the second stage of paint. Okay, so it took me quite a while to finally get all of the liquid mask off there, but I finally did that, and now I have started with my drip/paint splatter process. First thing I did was I went ahead and started at the headlights with some drips, and basically I let it run naturally down the contour of the body. I did not paint that in place. I just put enough on both sides at the top of the headlight, and then worked it gently around basically, and just kind of moved it to get it all the way around and follow the body line so it follows that purple. So yeah, so now I've got the yellow line, which is going to look kind of like a pinstripe, I think, with the purple on the outside, which will be kind of cool. And then now I'm just doing some strategic drips in places and letting those run to a certain extent. I don't want them to run off the body, but I want them to run down in certain spots. Like that one runs over and past the leaf. So does that one over there on that side. So just doing some of those and trying to get that to work the way I want it to. And then next I'll get into the splatters and yeah, just generally finishing up this paint job finally. So I think it's going to look super cool. Alright, I've been hitting the truck with a little bit of some splatter, and I got some of it on there, and right now I'm just kind of letting it sit for a little bit so that way I can get some other coloring on there and it doesn't necessarily mix as much. So I am kind of just chilling at the moment, but so far I do have some on. It's looking kind of cool, and I think this will be pretty tight once I get it all done. Alright, so I have finished the paints on the side, the splatter, the underlayer, all of that. So I am getting ready to peel and see what it actually looks like with the plastic fully peeled off. So unfortunately my curiosity and then my OCD got the better of me. So I tried to see if the mask on the window would peel up slightly, and from one of these edges right here at the front, and in doing so I found out that it would not peel up slightly, and then I was unable to carry on with being able to see that one little spot. So I decided then I had to just take the front window off completely. So I'm peeling it off, and it is coming off in just tiny little pieces again. So I am basically scraping at it with a fingernail, and it's just a slow process, and then it rips off in a tiny little bit. So I'm going to finish that off, and then I will leave the other windows alone. So I've got that clear. Like I mentioned, I'm not going to mess with these sides. So yeah, let's